July 3rd, 2021 was the day of round 5 of the first outdoor event of the Touring Kart Championship, taking place at United Karting in Hanover, Maryland. Conditions were just about perfect, despite a few overcasts here and there, but the temperatures were reaching up to 85 to 90 degrees. Of course, it's a common thing to experience on race day or events like these or any other typical day during the summer months. So, the practice sessions at this track proved to be crucial, as the traveling drivers competing for the title had to quickly get in good shape to the track and the karts ahead of qualifying. Both Sam Catanese and Brenner Schubert, two of the traveling drivers and two of the championship contenders, did exactly that and managed to qualify well up the running order to start the semi-finals in a good position. However, at this track, the drivers who qualify well will be using the karts that qualified in the lower positions. This makes the qualifying session crucial in order to have the best chance at making it to the grand final and solidifying a big points haul at the end of the day. Ryan Miller and Austin Hedge led both the practice and qualifying sessions to start on pole for the semifinals, with Ryan narrowly edging out Austin to take the pole position honor. John Piker and John Pongratz also did well, placing just behind the leading pair in both practice and qualifying. The semi-final sessions proved to be just as eventful, with Brenner Schubert driving through the field after an early spin into turn 1 to place well in the grand finals. She was joined by title contenders Sam Catanese and R.J. Cummings in the grand final, along with Colin Good. Christian Barker and Chris Satterfield, as well as Mike Satterfield, were among those. This track proved to be tough to get just right, as many of the successful traveling drivers struggled to make it into the grand final. After a poor semi-final result due to struggling to find grip in the worn rental tires, John Pongratz managed to lead for most of the petite final. John had a long battle with Sue Hedge, who was able to get around John only a few laps to go before the checkered flag flew. The grand final proved to be one to watch, as a dominant three-way battle for the lead ensued for 18 of 20 laps between the local favorites of Ryan and Austin and one of our sponsored drivers, that of Brenner Schubert. At the start, Brenner managed to make up several places to slot only a few seconds behind Ryan and Austin. After a few laps, Brenner managed to reel in the leading pair and pass both of them, with neither driver holding anything back and neither of them giving an inch. This battle lasted all the way until lap 18, where the three drivers collided at turn 5, resulting in Brenner being spun out. Amongst the chaos, Colin Good managed to slip past and take the lead in the heavyweight class over Brenner, while Chris Satterfield rounded out the heavyweight class podium with a stellar TKC debut drive. Shortly after the incident, Austin's kart had mechanical issues and forced him to retire. This meant that the overall win went to Ryan Miller, and John Piker and Sam Catanese joined him on the lightweight class podium. And because of Ryan Miller becoming the overall winner, he became the fourth driver in the series to set the triple of pole position, fastest lap, and race win. He's one of the locals at United Karting, which means that the streak of locals winning on home turf kept going and increased from 5 to 6 in a row. As mentioned earlier, John Piker and Sam Catanese, rounding out the podium in his class, finished second and third respectively. Sam continues to show and prove that he really means business in terms of maintaining his lead in the championship table. It was his first time at United Karting, and he kept what worked for him during the practice sessions and threw out what didn't work for him and used that to his advantage in the sessions he was in.
This is a great track to come experience. Still racing with some of the regulars that we have in our group and our series that have been racing so far, and we got to race with some people that are experienced here at the track. Most of us that have come here from out of state didn't get a chance to ride on this track before, so today was the first day. So it was pretty cool to experience that, and I think the track is an excellent track. It's dynamic, it has ups and downs, it has nice turns, balance. The one thing, that was one of the big pros. The overall atmosphere here was nice and comfortable. As far as the track, as far as the karts go, the karts were fun when you're in the right one, but as far as balance between them, one of the least balanced places we've been to so far as like the card discrepancies. So that was something that I think I noticed amongst some of the other drivers, that I know the performance either could have been better or maybe shouldn't have been as good. And I think that kind of gives you, it's kind of what you get when you do rental karts. Rental karting is one of those really fun things. It's definitely something you can get into relatively affordably, but you kind of are battling that imbalance between the karts at times. So sometimes it can be better for doing trial events versus doing like actual position racing. But it's still nonetheless is a great experience, and this was a good track to come to. And I'm excited to be here next week. The racers that we were with are, exceptional. Most of them are actually racing professionally outside of this, so you get a real good blend of different types of people. And I think that overall things are pretty good. It was a little rough out there for some people. There was some, maybe some calls that could have been made that maybe weren't. But that racing's racing, so that is what it is.
After the conclusion of Round 5 in the Summer Championship of 2021, Sam increased his lead by an 18-point margin in the standings over his friend/teammate Riley Martin. Speaking of Riley Martin, he was keen to make an impression at United Karting, given that this was also his first time at the track. However, he didn't finish as high as he would have hoped, but at least there's always room for improvement. He did well in practice and qualifying, and did decent in his respective heats and final. And he still remains in second in the championship. And overall, Riley ranks P7 at the end of the United Karting Round 5 event in his respective class. RJ Cummings, who ranked 5th in his class, reached triple-digit numbers, maintaining 3rd place. His rival, Alex Smith, drops from 5th back to 6th after he struggled to keep the karts he was driving in control. 5th was now occupied by Augusto Fontes, and in 4th was Brenner Schubert. And for those wondering on how Augusto did, he did pretty decent, en route to 6th place in his class. And with that being said, he scores an additional 25 points in the championship. It's been an interesting 5th race of the season, given that it's the first outdoor event on the calendar and an exciting track with exciting racing. Turn 1 for most people was the center of attention whenever the pack got bunched up, which in one of these cases we had not 1, not 2, but 3 karts spin out at the same turn at the same time. If you thought that was insane, it got even more insane, as the Touring Kart Championship returned to United Karting for the second time 1 week later to host Round 6. A highlight reel for that video coming soon. But until then, I, Turn 4 Productions, signing off the mic as always, and until next time and further notice, peace out, stay safe, and have a good one.
Congratulations everybody coming out. Let's spray the champagne!
Competition motorsports is a very, very brutal thing to get into, and we're trying to be that first step to get used to it. So if all of the drivers...
You punked me!
Ah!
Not the best
We're trying to find that fine line where they balance as much as they can be.
Oh, god damn it. Cut.
So yeah, it was the first